Hello, students. This is Ron Denault to talk about your Chapter 14 labs. Chapter 14 happens to be the final chapter in IT Essentials. I'll talk a little bit about the final exam after I go over these labs. So there are four labs. This happens to be one of those chapters that works much better in a face-to-face classroom, but unfortunately this is an online class. So I'm going to do the best I can with it. But the reason why it's fun in a face-to-face is I have my students work in teams, and they open up a computer and cause problems by pulling out memory sticks or unplugging the hard drive or unplugging the P1 power cable on the motherboard, or all these kinds of things. And then the other team is responsible for trying to find out all the problems and put it back together. But obviously we can't do that because it's an online class. So I'm going to use the remote technician labs instead. There are four of them, as you can see here. So I've opened them up here. They basically look similar to one of the labs you did in the last chapter. But what you got to do is you got to fill in the information. The problem description is on the second page, so you can basically copy and paste the problem description. But please be aware of the additional information that you need to be aware of when you're making your decision on how to solve that particular problem, because this is going to come into play. Okay, so you're going to put the problem, you copy and paste the problem description here, and then you're going to come up with a solution. Your solution should be rather detailed. I don't want to just see one or two words here. I want to see some descriptive details and maybe more than one solution. For example, I tried this. If that doesn't work, try this. If that doesn't work, try that. So I'd like you to be as descriptive and detailed as possible here. And there are four of them. This one happens to be the repairing a booting problem, and then there's one for fixing an operating system problem, an OS problem. I think it's Windows 7. And then there's one for fixing a network problem. And then the last one, I believe, is, security. So you do that. Now, like I said, make sure you check on the additional information, okay? And take everything into account as you answer the question. And you should be all set. Like, for example, if you say that the solution to the problem was try plugging in the Ethernet cable, and if that doesn't work, then probably you have a bad router. Well, that wouldn't be a solution, because it says right here that they did in fact try that, and it works when they do that. Okay, so they can connect using an Ethernet cable. So make sure that you keep this additional information in mind as you move through these labs. Okay, so once you finish the four remote technician labs, you'll be ready to take your first attempt on the Chapter 14 exam. So you can send me an email, and that process is familiar to you. The only last thing you have to do is there is a feedback that you have to do before you can take the final exam. So when you're finished taking the Chapter 14 exam, you'll send me an email, say, can you activate my feedback? Every student has to take a feedback. Cisco requires that because they use a lot of that information to help improve their their online learning management system. So, and I get it. That makes perfect sense. So you have to fill that out. And then once you fill that out, and obviously there's no right or wrong answer, you answer the questions truthfully. Once you finish that, then you have to take the final exam to end the course. There's a final exam which covers information in all 14 chapters. So you might want to spend some time going back and reading through each chapter to reorient yourself and familiarize yourself with the information for each chapter. And then when you're ready for that, you email me, and you take you only have one attempt, unfortunately, on the final exam. One attempt. So it's going to have to be good. And I can't remember the weight. I'd have to go back and look. But you might want to go to the syllabus to check the weight on the final exam. It's significant, so make sure you do a good job on the final exam. And then once you do the Chapter 14 exam, the feedback, and the final exam, you are finished with the course. I will submit grades probably sometime next week, so you should probably have all of this done by Sunday. So you might want to get started early this week, okay? And again, if you have any questions, send me an email, and I hope you have a great week. And it's been a fantastic semester. You guys did great. Those of you that stayed with the course, you all did great, and I wish you much success in the future. Okay? Have a good one, guys. Bye.